Understanding that your healing is going to irritate the demons and pain in others is vital. One of the hardest parts, and there are so many hard parts to healing, but one of the hardest parts of healing is the fact that when you start your healing journey, people are going to judge you. People are going to judge your new ability to start having boundaries and resilience as if you are arrogant or as if you are rigid. People are used to the version of you that you once were. And your healing is going to create not new versions of you. Hopefully it's going to uncover who you are. It's going to uncover the ability that you didn't have to speak your truth into speaking your truth. The ability to have no confidence is into developing confidence. That's going to sound like arrogance. Speaking your truth is going to sound like creating conflict, but it's not. Your healing and learning healed behaviors is going to irritate people who don't have healed behaviors. People align with the energy that they radiate at. So the reason why you had a lot of unhealed people around you was because you're unhealed. The reason you're unhealed is because likelihood your family's unhealed and your parents are unhealed. So when you start healing, wow, that's going to piss a few people off. They're going to start thinking you're up your own arse, that you are somebody different. They're going to start, you put boundaries in, they think you're being selfish with your time. You start doing what lights you up, they're going to think that you have lost the plot because you're starting to do more creative stuff. You start investing in your own family instead of the family that raised you, and they're going to start thinking that you're ostracizing yourself. You start saying how you feel, they're going to think that, and because you're realizing along your healing journey that the behaviors that you once had were unhealthy. And you are in the minority. So when you're in the minority, the majority, instead of looking at themselves, have to judge the minority. One of the greatest sayings is, don't take advice from the people who don't do the work. And it's like when you watch a boxing fight on the TV or football, and you've got everyone screaming at what these players should do. Some of the very people who are screaming this have never trained, never learned the game, have never been in the extremities of pushing their body to the extremities. They've never had to face the judgments and the harshness of how they grew. So why on earth is that footballer or boxer going to take advice from somebody that has never experienced what they have? But we do, don't we? When trolls kick up, when people start saying how they think and feel, we start internalising it. That inner child starts to feel as if it's not good enough again, as if there's something wrong with you because now you're healing. And before you felt there was something wrong with you because your wounds, well, people didn't like your wounds. Everyone moans at people with some of the most wounded behaviours. But as soon as you start healing those wounded behaviours, you're then the problem again. So you're not good enough when you're emotionally dysregulated. You're not good enough when you like to argue. You're not good enough when you want peace. But now you want to heal and you want to start healing things, but you're not good enough again. You think you're better than everyone else. Oh, you think your shit don't stink. But that's not true, is it? These people just don't know how to sit with themselves, so they have to find every reason as to why other people are the problem. And you may have been like that before you healed. I know that I may have been like that. So if I know that I was like that, that when I was unhappy, I judged other people, then that's got to make me realise that now I'm happy, when people are judging me, it's because they're unhappy. Because there is nobody that you come across who's done the healing work or doing the healing work that sits on TikTok or Facebook and judges people every day or judges society. There's no one that is on their healing journey that does that. And the reason for that is they have learned the pitfalls. They have learned that their behaviours are universal. They have learned that we're all wounded. We have learned that to heal, we have to face some of our pain. So that means other people have got it. And you've also learned the power of happiness and peace. And where you put your intention and your energy is what grows. So having time to criticize and judge actually doesn't become part of your journey no more, because it doesn't make you feel good. And anyone that criticizes and judges, and I know this myself, is actually so angry with their own selves and so judgment of their own selves, they just don't know it. When I look back at my time of being a very judgmental person and a critical person, I look back at how unhappy I was. I look back at how I hated myself, didn't think I was good enough, didn't think I was worthy, didn't think I was a good enough parent. And when I look back at all the things that I felt and hated about myself, of course I was going to hate them in another, because how could I see love and goodness in another if I couldn't find it in myself? And I'm not saying I never did find beauty in others, I did. But my brain was more hardwired for judgment because I was so judgmental and critical of myself. So my brain was so hardwired to be judgment and critical of others. And when I started to learn love and compassion for myself, started to learn to forgive myself, started to learn that my journey has been one of many downs, and some of my behaviours have been passed down from my family, and actually I'm not a bad person because of those behaviours. I was just wounded. I was just wounded from passed down behaviours. It makes me more accepting and more willing to want to change, because less does it mean that I'm a bad person, it just means that I've absorbed the behaviours that have been normalised around me. So if it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, and it doesn't mean that I'm never going to be able to change, then at least I can have compassion for myself. So naturally, when you develop compassion for yourself and acceptance, you do naturally develop that for others. So that's why people who are in their healed state it doesn't mean you never have a judgment. Humans have to judge. We have to judge because judging, we get to judge a situation, and judging can help people grow. Actually, what you're doing right now is probably not the healthiest because of these reasons. So that person is judging that person. But it's different to the judgments of, look at the state of her. She needs to lose weight, she needs to put on weight, her hair looks fucking a mess, her kids are a state. They're different judgments. They're not the judgments of anything that's going to grow and change. Or anything that you judge from that person is not going to bring them anything. It's just an outright judgment. Now, we can judge situations, but actually they're really struggling at home and I think that they're going to need some help. And actually, maybe if I do contact somebody and tell them, that's not getting involved, that's actually making a judgment of that situation, that actually I need to judge that situation because I think that person's really struggling. And they might not like me initially, but actually they will hopefully realise in the end why I had to make that judgment to help them. So it's creating the discernment between judgment. Unconscious judgment is anger that you feel for yourself that is redirected externally. But conscious judgment is an awareness that you have to make that judgment. You have to judge to know what that situation needs. And it might not be the nicest of judgments, but it's a truthful based judgment. That parent's really struggling because they may be on drugs or they're on something, and actually I'm going to judge because I'm going to help do something. Judging just to be nasty and spread gossip is not an active, healthy judgment. It's just a redirected anger. Maybe because you've grown up in that environment, so you're angry at anybody that shows that kind of environment to their children. What that really means is you need to heal your wounding. Yes, raising children in those environments absolutely are not healthy for the children. But we do also have to recognise some people are never going to change and aren't the healthiest and nicest of people. And some people just need a little bit of support. There's some people that you could give all the support in the world to, they're more attached to their pain, and actually you have to just go, I'm going to judge that person is never going to heal while they're like this and I have to let them go. Or you're going to judge, actually, I feel for them. Maybe we can help them in some way or can get them help in some way. So judgments are needed. You're never going to eradicate judgments. People believe that to heal, you have to eradicate judgments. I'm not a judgmental, but I don't judge anyone. Oh, the bus is fucking late. Sick of these drivers. That's a judgment, honey. Oh, no, I don't know. You know, we're so unaware of what judgments are that we're just redirecting internalised anger. And and being pissed off because the bus is late, well, you're allowed to be pissed off the bus is late, but then getting really angry at the driver when it turns up, which is probably out of the driver's control, it's not, that judgment is not helping you, is it? So you can judge the situation and not be happy with it, but you can be aware that you're doing that, so you don't actually take your internalized anger out on that driver. You're probably late because maybe you've been late, and now you're even more pissed off because that driver's late, and actually you're just directing your anger at yourself from being late, that it must be that driver's fault. We have to incorporate, unfortunately, things are going to be late. We had to learn to organise our own lives. And when we don't organise our lives, we get angry at everyone else that impacts us in a negative way, when actually your real anger is the fact that you're not organising your own life. And I'll give another example. I used to get really angry when money used to go wrong or something used to get taken out of my bank account. Really, really angry, and I used to just shout at the bank people or get upset. But actually, the anger was really to myself because I had a mismanagement of money. I could have stopped that direct debit coming out if I actually connected to my finances and connected to and realised what I was paying. I could have stopped or rang up the company and asked for a bit of support because I'm skint if I actually connected to my finances. The anger that I had was never really about something external. It was more to do with the fact that I felt I had no control in my own life. And that's the power of where judgment comes from. I feel like we're digressing a little bit there, because what really I want to say is, when you're healing, people are going to judge you. Now, if lots of people say the same thing, or you're isolating yourself and you think, no, I'm not, I'm having time to myself, there's truth in both. You've learned the power of self, but you've also disconnected from others. So actually, what other people are saying is important. Maybe you need to reconnect with a few of those closest to you. But if only one person says you're selfish and everyone else understands that you're cultivating time for you, then is that person's judgment really valid? But how much do you love that person? Maybe you love that person so much and what they're saying is true, that you're spending a lot of time on your own and you need to give them a bit of connection. It's about balancing. But when you've got people just aimlessly trolling people, telling you you're selfish, telling you this, it's noise. Your light will irritate a lot of other people's darkness, and you have to learn to discern the difference between them naturally wanting to give you some criticism that they think can benefit you, or they're just literally irritated by your healing. And your healing is one of the most powerful things, and one of the most powerful things you're going to learn in your healing is balance. The balance of self-preservation against connection. The balance between facing conflict that's needed and leaving conflict that you know is not going anywhere. The balance between spending time with others and spending time alone. The balance between rushing for your goals but also enjoying the moment. Your healing journey is going to be about learning one big balance. And that balance is going to tip at times. And it has to. It can't always stay in equilibrium. But you have to know and have the awareness of when to bring it back. But quite often, don't take the advice from people who aren't doing the work that you're doing. Remember, you are your biggest advocate. I'm hoping that you're enjoying these videos that I'm bringing you. I am a wounded healer, and I aim to bring you videos of healing and empowerment and personal growth. I do work as a tarot reader and a medium, but also work with tarot therapy to help you heal the things that you need to heal through via tarot, which is one-off sessions. I also do holistic healing through trauma-informed therapy, which is multiple sessions where we'll work through healing your wounds, wounded behaviour, healing your energy through meditation and connection to somatic work and polyvagal work, which is nervous system work. And I also do 6-week programs. So I also do groups. So there's a lot that I do, which you can find on my website, which I will link underneath. Or you can go onto Facebook, which is the Spiritual Hub, or TikTok, which is the Spiritual Hub, where you'll find different aspects of my content. I feel so blessed to be able to be on this platform bringing you these videos. And I truly, truly do hope that they empower you in some way. Please do follow me. Please do comment. Please do connect to the work that I'm bringing you. Namaste. All my love.